Hello, my name is Ruby Gibert, and I chose to explore Inuit printmaking. Inuit printmaking is a visual art tradition developed primarily in Arctic Canada that translates Inuit stories, beliefs, and daily life into graphic images using techniques such as stone cut, stencil, and lithography. Emerging in the mid-20th century, it blends ancestral knowledge and symbolism with collaborative studio practices, allowing Inuit artists to share their cultural identity with global audiences. I chose to explore this practice as an inspiration to my personal journey of reconnecting with my Métis heritage, helping me connect to cultures deeply rooted in my family, and I have some relatives of my own who are Inuit as well. Being able to learn how the Inuit printmaking expresses cultural identity and tradition sparked such inspiration for this project. Through exploring this art form, I was able to understand its meaning and strengthen my own connection to my roots and the wider Indigenous community. The materials you'll need is a roller, ink, or paint in the colors of your choice that you feel express the story you wish to tell, a carvable material like wood, linoleum, rubber, or stone, sketch paper, a heavier object, carving tools, a pencil and eraser, and water with a cloth and/or soft brushing tool. For this practice, I will be using black ink, a rubber material, a roller, and a carving toolkit with sketch paper, a pencil eraser, a book, along with a soft brush, water, and paper towel. These tools were readily available in my home or at a nearby shop. Next, this step is optional, but sketch your design as what first comes to mind, a common practice of Inuit printmaking. This can be as simple or detailed as you want. It can be connected to your life, background, or emotions. Inuit artists often draw depictions of their lifestyle, experiences, beliefs, and stories as a means of spreading knowledge and teachings, preserving their cultural heritage, as written language was not common. These drawings were then transferred to a carving material to begin the printmaking process. I chose to sketch key elements of my Cree and Métis background. The Métis infinity symbol is often seen in beadwork, embroidery, and the Métis flag. It symbolizes the eternal joining of Indigenous and European cultures, as well as the continuity of the Métis people. The sun represents life, warmth, and the giver of energy, and the bear, represented as bear paws in my sketch, is often seen as a powerful animal, symbolizing strength, healing, protection, and introspection, inspired by the bears hibernating. The drum is often decorated with animal hides and paintings symbolizing the heartbeat of Mother Earth used in ceremonies and gatherings like powwows. And then I added mountains in the background that most symbolize where I find peace and happiness. If you have a sketch, you can reference or trace it onto your surface as a guide. I chose to redraw it onto my rubber surface, as it also shows the beauty in adaptation and process in the printmaking method. As I continue describing my experience, I have a fast track recording showing the process as well. Once you have your sketch, you can use your carving tools to play with pressure and get the depth and thicknesses you want. My carving kit offers different grooves and thicknesses that allow me to create such depth and texture with my rubber material. Once I finished, I used a soft brush to remove the debris. Then I used a roller and ink and placed about a tablespoon onto a clean surface and rolled to apply an even layer. Then I rolled the ink onto the carved surface, repeating this step until I felt there was an even layer for transfer. I then carefully placed the sketch paper onto the ink surface, trying to center it for my piece. I used my hands to apply even pressure and used my sketchbook to apply more pressure. It may take a couple of pages of printing on the same application or a new application before getting the desired outcome. I ended up doing 2 prints to get my results. Traditionally, Inuit printmakers will only use the template for a select number of copies, creating limited editions as the process is labor-intensive, and hundreds of copies are simply not realistic. While experienced printmakers will often have a printing press for applying pressure when transferring the design, it is otherwise all done by hand. Some artists will also use a large hand roller. Overall, I feel like this experience helped me understand the dedication and effort it took to create the beautiful pieces Inuit artists made as a living, as oftentimes more challenging materials were used, like stone, for example, taking a lot more effort and time to develop such detailed and knowledgeable work, sharing the Inuit culture. I began to feel a sense of pride in my efforts and what I was trying to say through my prints about my own culture and beliefs, and it was quite a well-rounded experience. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope you find a chance to try it out too.